Hi guys, welcome back to my podcast, Yarn Crafts by Allison. I'm Allison. Today we are talking about two finished objects, a 1, 2, 3 whips, one of which is a new cast on, and some acquisitions. I got a couple of knitting books that I want to talk about. So thanks for joining me and we'll get right into it. So I guess technically 3 finished objects because this sweater that I was working on before my last podcast, it was still drying. I think I showed it to you, but it was still wet. It wasn't dry yet and it didn't have buttons yet. So it's fully done. All the buttons are put on and I've been wearing it a lot actually, like in the evenings to watch TV with my husband. I'll like throw this on over my pajama t-shirt. I'm really enjoying it. Let me see if I can show you a little better. So here's the finished sweater and I'm really enjoying it. I just shook my whole phone. I'm really enjoying it. It's a little bit prickly with like I'm wearing a tank top strap today. It's a little prickly on like my shoulders and my upper back, but like over a t-shirt, it's perfectly comfortable. And I think I'm gonna wear this a lot in the winter when it gets cold. So my one qualm with this sweater is where I put the top button. So I had a pattern like for stitch counts, but I wasn't like really adhering to a specific pattern, so I was kind of winging it a little bit. So I put this too high, this first button, and while I could go back and change it, I would have had to like undo my entire button band, and I just don't feel like doing that. I had put this just even where the increases stopped, so just like where the V stops, and in hindsight it really needs to, the top button should really be like here. This is technically where the last increase is, but I feel like right about here would have been perfect so that it like lets that last increase like fully establish itself as a row of stitches, as a column of stitches. It would have been better here. I might leave it. I have a couple times worn it like with just the top 2 buttons. You can't really see the rest of it, but like with just the top 2 buttons closed, I'm probably just gonna leave it. I don't plan to wear this closed most of the time anyway. So, but I might decide to just remove the top button and just let this one be the top button. It's a little low, but I don't really care. And then I would just sew up this buttonhole. I'm just not that bothered about it. So this is fully done. I love it. I think the taper on the sleeve is perfect. The sleeves ended up a little shorter than I was planning on them being, but I think for what I want this to be, which is just like a house coat basically, I think it's the perfect sleeve. I can still like function with these sleeves the length they are. I think if they were longer, they would be kind of in my way. So really pleased with it. Yeah, that's all I have to say about this cardigan. This one was that clearanced worsted weight. I love this wool from Yarn Bee, which is the Hobby Lobby brand. I got a bunch of balls of it for I think like $1.74 or something per ball, and it was just kind of a spur of the moment cast on. So fully done. That is this cardigan. The next finished object that I have is, actually, we'll talk about the watermelon sweater. Last podcast, I had just cast on the neckline and that was all I had. It's finished now. I basically worked on it monogamously for the last couple weeks because I had injured my finger the last time. So I couldn't work on these socks, which I'll talk about in a second. I couldn't work on socks. I couldn't really work on anything textured. So I was just going with that watermelon sweater and I had a really fun time with it. I will insert a little video here, some footage, because I don't have it with me. It's in that room where my son is taking a nap. but I really wanted to film today. So you will probably have by now seen the little bit of footage that I have, and I'll probably put a picture in too. So the way I ended up managing that yarn, I had talked about, because it's a raglan, the first half of the skein was pink and the second half of the skein was green. So I didn't want to do all the increases for the raglan and then put those stitches on hold and do the whole body, and then just with whatever color I had, do the sleeve and then do the sleeve. It would have looked really jarring to go from the medium pink at the shoulder to whatever green I was at for the body. So what I ended up doing, and I think I have pictures of all the little balls, so I'll put a picture here if I have one. I think I have one. I was periodically, I would cut the yarn, take out a small, like a ball like this big of whatever color I was at, and just set it aside. So I did that with the medium pink. I had a light pink. I had it never got to be like a true white. It went from a really, really, really pale pink to a really, really, really pale green. So I took a small ball of that, and then I took a small ball of the light green and a small ball of the medium green. And each time I would just take a little ball of it, rejoin the skein to the project, and then just put that little ball of yarn aside. And then I finished the body. I got all the way to the dark green at the bottom hem. And then what I did for the sleeves was I then, as I got to each color, so that the medium green, I took the two ends of the ball and I just divided it in half and then wound that up as two separate balls then, and then used one for one sleeve, used it for the sleeve I was working on, and then put that one aside. So then I used half of each of those little balls all the way down the sleeve to then do the one sleeve, and then I just had to use up the second halves of each of those little balls that I had set aside into the second sleeve, and it turned out great. The gradient on the body is slightly different from the gradient on the sleeves, but it only because I made it. I only noticed it because I made it. Someone that didn't make it is probably not even gonna notice that, unless, now that I've told you. Now that I've told you, you might notice. But yeah, I love it. It's so pretty, it's so cute. I'm kicking myself that I don't have it out here to actually show you because it's so cute. But that was, oh gosh, I cannot remember where I got that yarn. At the Lexington Sheep and Wool Festival. I don't remember the brand. I don't even know if I still have the label. It was meant to be like a watermelon shawl, and I repurposed it to be this beautiful sweater, and I'm just so thrilled with it. My daughter loved it. Maybe I'll insert a picture of her here. I don't know yet. Maybe. I don't put my kids on the internet. I would crop her face out, but I don't know. I'm not sure. We'll see. Maybe I'll just take a picture of it, and yeah. I don't want to put her in a video. We'll pass on that. Anyway, so that's the watermelon sweater. I'm so thrilled with it. And so once I finished the watermelon sweater, I moved on to these striped socks for my sister. So this was Patons Kroy in the color Blue Raspberry. It was a self-striping yarn. So they're done. I had to take a break from these when my finger was injured, but now that it's better, I have cranked out the second sock. So this is the one that I think I had finished this sock and had started this one when I spoke to you last. Maybe that's wrong, I don't know. This is the first one I finished. This is the second, and they're so cute. I didn't bother making this one start the same place this one was at, because I just didn't have enough yarn for that. But they're clearly a pair, and I love them so much. These are for my sister, and I'll probably insert a video here of them on my feet, probably, if I can figure out how to do that. I've just started playing with some very simple video editing, This is not a skill set I currently possess, and frankly, I don't think I'll be bothered to do lots and lots of crazy editing in my videos. I just don't have time for that, and I'd rather just keep it simple. So we'll see. I've now told you I'll insert like 4 things into this video. So we'll see what actually happens. But so these are the blue raspberry socks. I'm going to give these to my sister sometime in the next couple days. So that's it for whips. No, that's it for finished objects. We're moving on to whips. So I'm still just slowly chugging away at this little tank top. I still haven't even gone back and looked at what this pattern is called, because I still need like 12 inches of this fabric. But I mean, you can probably see this is not a progress keeper. It just, with some extra stitch markers, I just kind of stuck there. But I've made at least a couple inches of progress since the last time I made a podcast. So, and I'm really loving this fabric. I like this yarn a lot. It's just, I'm finding I really don't like bottom up. I like to do all the interesting stuff first, and then just once I've got a big chunk of all the like the interesting steps, then I'm like more motivated to do the body, because it's like, ooh, my garment's halfway done. Now I just have to do all this stockinette in the round, but it's fine. I'm enjoying the slowness of it. It's forcing me to be mindful, and it is really easy to just grab it and take it with me and just do a couple stitches here and there if I'm out and have some downtime. But that's this tank top. There's really nothing else to add. So the next one's exciting. So this is my Alvar pullover sweater. Alvar pullover, I think it's called, by Sara Nordland. It's almost done. So I had talked about, I finished the first sleeve on this and then really just lost steam. I don't know. I'm just tired of looking at the chart. I think I've said that a few times now. But it's completely done except the second sleeve. So I've been making myself work on this sleeve. So each of the first sleeve I did 2 times through the chart, and then I did the cuff there's a couple of decreases right at the wrist, and then the actual ribbed cuff. So I am 1/3 of the way through the second chart repeat. So I've done the diagonals and the checkerboard and the diamonds, and now the other night finished the diagonals again. So I'm really close to finishing this, which is exciting, because I haven't decided what my next sweater is, but I've told myself I'm not casting on another sweater until this is done. So hopefully by the time I do another podcast, actually, no, I'm gonna commit to it. By the next time I do a podcast, this will be finished. And this will finally be out of my bag, taking up half the space in my big knitting bag. So that's the Alvar pullover. This yarn is the Drops Cotton Merino in whatever this gray color is. I don't remember. I've had this in my stash for so long. Most of it doesn't have the ball band anymore. Some kind of medium gray. But I really like it, and I think it's gonna be really cozy and comfy. It's cotton merino. So that's that. Now, my last whip is that really all the whips? Well, I still have my Hannah cardigan, the hot pink one. I've worked on it a little bit. That is gonna be the next thing I tackle. Probably when this Alvar is done, I'll then be working on the Hannah cardigan more. I'm really focused on getting this done, because I've been working on this since like October. It's time to be done. Maybe not October. I think I cast this on in January. I cast it on in January. Either way, I need it gone out of my bag. I'm tired of looking at it in my bag. I want to be able to wear it. So my last active whip is this. This is going to be a pair of socks. This is the first cuff. I think I have like 2 rows left of the ribbing. And this is also from Passion Yarns. This is the self-striping that I got at the Lexington Sheep and Wool Festival. So I caked it up the other night, and yeah, I was like, the night I finished the blue raspberry ones, I was like, ooh, okay, I've got the socks off my needles. I'm gonna start on these, the self-striping. I've been dying to pull one of these out and actually use it. So yeah, got myself a little cuff. These colors are so crazy vibrant. Like, I feel like, I mean, the camera does them justice pretty well, but like, you can't see how good the stitch definition is at the same time. It's so good. It's so good. So I am doing these on size 0, 2mm needles. I found that is just what I like, the size I like to knit my socks on. Because I tend to be a loose knitter, so I find doing socks with size 1 to not, I don't get as dense of a fabric as I would like. So size 0. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say about this. So that's all of my active whips. So I do actually have a couple acquisitions today. They're not yarn, but I have 3 new books. I don't really buy knitting books. I had one a long time ago when I was a teenager and like kind of was experimenting with learning to knit and then dropped it. My mom had bought me a knitting book and I think I gave it away because I decided I was never gonna knit. And now here we are, I'm doing a knitting podcast. But I recently, I had, for Christmas, someone had given me a big Amazon gift card. So I have had my eye on this book for a long time. This is The Knitter's Handy Book of Top-Down Sweaters, Basic Designs in Multiple Sizes and Gauges by Anne Budd. And I've had my eye on this for a while. She's got like 4 different main constructions that she talks about. And basically there's a whole section on each of those construction types. So, and she talks about gauge and using different types of yarns. So she has a whole section on circular yokes, and she calls it seamless yoke, a seamless yoke sweater. But there's all the charts, and it talks about gauge and stitch counts, and basically gives you recipes for different constructions. And so she has a section on seamless yokes or circular yokes. She's got a section on raglans, and it's just full of charts for all the different stitch counts for all the different sizes. She has child sizes, but the adult sizes go from a finished bust circumference of 36 inches to 54 inches. I haven't had a chance to look through this book a ton yet, but I'm looking forward to it. So she also has got the set-in sleeve recipe and saddle shoulder. So I think this is going to be a really good resource for me as I get into more. I don't ever plan on like designing and like making patterns, but like drafting for myself. I think this will be a really good resource for me. And then each if I'm not mistaken, there is a cover, but there is, for each of the constructions, there is a full-on pattern that corresponds to each one. So, and then she has a whole section on personal touches and different collars, button bands and things like that. So this will be a really, really great resource for my library. So that is Top Down Sweaters by Ann Budd. And then I have 2 books by Louise Crowther. I have My Knitted Doll, so cute, and Knitted Animal Friends. And this was actually 2 separate purchases, and I didn't realize they were by the same author until the doll one got here like last week, and then the Knitted Animal Friends came yesterday. And my son is waking up and making noise, so I have to finish up here pretty quickly. This one arrived and I went, this looks a lot like the doll book that I bought. I wonder who that other one is by. And then I pulled it out and I was like, oh, it's the same author. So, oh, he's crying. All right, I gotta finish up. So the animal one, there are 13 different animals. Look at how cute they are. Oh my gosh. So they're so cute. My daughter wants, here's 2 more of them. Oh, look at how cute those are. And then there's a kitty cat and a ram, and they all have cute little like human names. And the photography is so cute. So they all have different clothes and shoes and purses, and you can make little, she calls them French knickers. They're little underwear. So they're so cute. My daughter has basically said she wants me to make all of the animals for her. So you may start to see some knitted animals and dolls on my upcoming episodes. I have to get yarn for them still, and then these are the dolls. They're so cute. All the dolls have all different colors. There's 12 dolls. But like, oh, so cute. Look at them all. They all have different little dresses and sweaters. And the little boy named Ralph is so cute. There's one little boy, the rest of them are girls. And I just, like, look at that. Naomi, so cute. So my daughter has been making lots of knitting plans for me. This is Ralph. Oh my gosh, he's so cute. I love the little overalls. And then, all right, I'm gonna wrap it up here. I gotta go get my son. Here's one more. So they all have different hair and different clothes, and they're so darn cute. So I will be working out of this book as well. All right, so I'm gonna close it here because I have to go get my poor little baby. He's waking up from his nap. So thank you for joining me. And yeah, I'll see you next time.